That's right. It's time for everyone's favorite Twitch politics show, The More Perfect Union. Covering the best in U.S. politics and Twitch political drama, we aim to disarm the left using the Constitution as our spear and shield.
The entire articulation for the use of deadly force is the imminent threat of death or great bodily harm. It has nothing to do with whether or not...
What was the threat?
As a matter of fact...
What was the threat?
Are you out of your mind, Gappy? You're out of your mind. Get ready.
The other thing is that the cost of enamel paints and Warhammer figures has gone through the roof. When you poll foreign citizens of other countries about our president, they don't vote, and they are not representing the voice of their governments. It is true that a lot of foreign governments are glad that Joe Biden is president because they steamroll his shit left and right every way, 7 ways from Sunday. Matter of fact, twice on Sunday. I care what the American people think.
Well, hey there, everybody. Or, one of you. Just, still dinking around with, still dinking around with, DCS World. This is just running some videos in the background, stuff like that. Have my other camera hooked up over here so you can see my pretty face. That's the Facecam Pro, new camera from Logitech. From Elgato. And I'm happy to say that I just ordered Logitech G flight panels. So I have a radio panel over here that I'm slowly beginning to get figured out how to do the connection to with DCS flight panels, which is a add-on module for DCS World. And I ordered the switch module, which has the I think thrust or brake control, in addition to a number of other things that you do to set up. Right now I'm doing a lot of that stuff with the Stream Deck XL, and I'm looking forward to it. Plus, I also have the X56 HOTAS, so I got a friends and family discount. So I got $400 worth of stuff for about $220. So I'm really freaking stoked about that. So I figured, well, if I could get a $100 panel for $67, why would you not do it, right? So yay! I sold my old Rodecaster soundboard. And I made enough money to buy some flight sim gear. So, yay, here we are. The politics and stuff. I mean, we are really, it is just now starting to snow in the Twin Cities. There is a massive 2.5-day storm that's coming our way. I'm supposed to go to Montana on Friday to start driving. I don't know that Friday or Saturday is going to be able for me to do that. I might not actually be able to drive until Sunday or Sunday into Monday. And it's just a massive storm coming. We're expecting anywhere from 12 to 19 inches of snow is kind of what they're saying. Now, will we get it? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, you know what? I feel like there's a stunning lack of background music, and I'm not sure if that's just my fault. It may be my fault. It happens. My life is like this. Oh, guess what? It was my fault. Okay, so now we have some background music. If you guys have a different genre you'd like to listen to, it's all royalty-free, courtesy of Epidemic Sound and my subscription I pay. But if you have something besides, this is, I think, is the rock channel. Let me pop that up. It's rock. So you got other stuff if you want to hear that too. So, and you just give me an idea if you got a particular genre or style, and it'll be, low rent, knockoff type stuff, but not too bad. Hey, Wobbly, what's up, brother? What is you guys? What do you mean? I don't get it. Yeah, no, I like the peace symbol. I like that with the American flag. I'm kind of looking forward. I'm absolutely so looking forward to being able to. This is DCS World. So this is just a YouTube channel. A guy, sorry, this computer is over here, but this is the guy that's doing videos. So there's like like a game master or god mode kind of thing. So he's like he sets all these different scenarios up, and he runs these simulators with live people and AI, and they just create these different scenarios, test different weapons and things like that. But that's okay, man. You are enough. You are enough, sir. You are enough. And I don't really care. I don't care about the people count here. I'm just like, you see things and you talk things and whatever. So, and besides, people need to know that I'm still alive and that I'm also still trying to do stuff. How you doing today? I woke up late this morning, and then the wife's car had an issue, so I was out in the freezing cold changing a battery on her car. Honda CRV, not a good car. Not a good car for anywhere where it's super cold. Anyway, you want to jump on Discord, man? You want to come into the old Discord channel? Do a little chat? Discord's up and running. I go into Discord. Where would I go? I'd go into the live show channel. I'm gonna say maybe later. Nobody cares. Maybe later. Maybe later. Maybe later. There's a lot of maybe laters. Good Lord. There we go. Yeah, I'm in the live show if you want to come in. That's fine. We could talk, but how was your show? You went on a rant? Okay, tell me about the rant. Come on in and talk to me in Discord, man. We put some different music up, and if you went on a rant, we need something a little more angry. And that is it's really kind of hurting my feelings. I want something a little more headbanger. It's just not very good. Get a little funky. Oh, okay. I feel you. I'm telling you, whatever that guy's using to capture his video, that is some high frame rate stuff. And he typically gets like I think up to 4 to 10 people will be live in this simulation that he does, and he's got a bunch of AI planes and things like that. It's pretty slick. You're in motion. Aren't we all? See, I'm in motion too. Ooh. Anyway. So we had not a primary, we had an election for state Supreme Court today. So I went ahead and pitched my vote for Dan Kelly, who was a prior Supreme Court justice, and I've had an occasion to speak with him a number of times over the last couple of years, and I think he's a pretty straight out guy. So the other candidates, didn't really know too many of them. Jennifer Doro was the Brooks SUV homicide case, the Christmas Eve parade in Kenosha, and I think that's her big claim to fame. She's been a judge for a long time. But people can say that they believe in doing X or whatever, and there was one judge or one candidate who I'm pretty sure is pretty liberal, because he talked about wanting to find balance, and balance is not the thing. It's not balance. It's not coming up with balanced outcomes. It's coming out with outcomes that comport with the Constitution, whether it's the federal Constitution or the state Constitution. And the law, right? And trying to find balance means that you're willing to tip the scale if you think that it's out of balance, like you got a bad law or something like that. And that's not really the purpose of the court. So I hope Dan Kelly wins. He's a good guy. He's a pretty straightforward guy. He's very intelligent. And hopefully, if it goes well for him, I'll have him come on the show. and we'll do an interview with him on the show and just sort of talk about, you know, his thoughts and processes and stuff. So, yay, good deal on that. Hey, what's up, Woody? Woodsy. Ooh, Jesus. Are you when you say Woodsy, is this a person I know through other names? Somebody's out there, you know, with a hatchet in the woods, chopping down things, lumberjack style. Thanks for coming in. What's going on? I'm just watching a YouTube video in the background. This guy's doing DCS World, so he sets up, him and his group, they set up all these different combats and stuff like that, and they do like air to air, air to ground, sea defense, taking out ships trying to defend against attack. It's some pretty interesting stuff. I'm just running a couple of my cameras, so that on screen to me it looks like it's a little bit dark. I might have to do a color adjustment for that camera feed in, but it's kind of I like it. I kind of like it. Let me see what a different projector window looks like. I move over to here. Yeah, it could be a little bit lighter. Let's see what I got here for that. Let me take this. Let's see what I can do to apply a filter. Got a dynamic mask. I don't know that I need a dynamic mask. Oh, yeah. That's what the deal is. Oh, yeah. No, totally. Yeah, there we go. Now we're back to color. All right. That was pretty easy. Oh, okay, right on. Yeah. Okay, I just always been Woodsy. Okay, I was just wondering because the name is different. Either that or I'm just I've gotten finally to that point where I'm super old. Hey, thanks for that subscription, man. I do appreciate that, Woodsy. I'd like to think that at some point, right, I'm going to get in where I'm worthy, I guess, of people contributing in and things like that. But I do appreciate that. Oh yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah, why'd you change your name? Oh, 5 months ago. Oh my God, is it? Well, I have been kind of out of pocket really since I think Labor Day. So yeah, I would not necessarily have known that, and I have been remiss about hanging out with other people too. So I've just started, like literally in the last couple of weeks, putting more effort into sort of reconnecting on different things. So Twitch politics and everything went all kind of crazy. But do you have a face cam or a face cam pro? Wobbly. I just got a face cam pro, and so far I like it. So what issues do you have with it? Is it the configuration of the software? I'm getting ready to start. I've dinked around with a couple different things in the software, and now I'm gonna start playing around with some of the automation functions to it, like, you know, zoom in, zoom out, or using the different presets and things like that. But oh, really? That's interesting. And you're on Windows, right? Yep. That's interesting. You're not running through a hub or anything, right? Oh, so is it overheating? I used to have some problems with the original face cam, which I still have. And I think that that's an okay camera. I have a whole bunch of gear that I'm not going to be using anymore because I've sort of upgraded, and that would include a face cam. I've got a pair of LumaCube edge lit pedestal lights, and I think a Elgato HD60S Plus video capture device that I am considering trying to come up with some way to be able to do like a loot offering or something like that. Yeah, Windows 10. Yeah, so I'm on Windows 11 sorry. No, this is Mac OS Monterey 12.6.3. So on the PC, I can set it up over there, but I haven't yet, just because it's easier for me to switch it through OBS on the Mac platform I have. But I will test it. I will actually test it over on Windows 11 and see if that problem, happens. But it will activate for a second time, then drop out. Meaning activate as in you switched over from OBS, from one scene with and one scene without. I haven't had any problems with the one I've got. Okay. So, what version of, are you current on OBS is what you're using, correct? Yeah, okay. So I'm 129.0.2, which introduced a whole host of problems. And I need to stop. Yeah, okay. I need to stop upgrading friggin' OBS. Open source it is a great platform. And there's a lot of cool things you can do with it. But the bottom line is if you haven't taken the time, like there is a plugin on the Windows side that it will actually help you manage all of your plugins. That doesn't exist on the Mac side. So it's a lot more research that you have to do in order to make that work for you. Yeah, so I think it's it's a lot harder, and I have always been this guy, so okay, just plunge in and then figure it out, right? Like I like to build the plane. I like to put the wings on as I'm flying. But it's kind of problematic if you want to be somebody who can do like an actual legitimate, consistent production, right? You can't be constantly unable to do a production when everything is not working. So that is kind of, I've never had a problem with the Brio. So I have a Brio. I have 3 Logitech Mevo Start cameras that I shoot those in NDI mode. What else? Oh, I've got a Jabra Panicast. So it's a 3 camera deal, 120 degree field of view. That is my camera. I think that's my camera 1. Let me see something here. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's this camera right here. And well, you probably can't hear me. Oh, you might be able to hear me. Yeah, you can hear me. Can't hear the music because it's a different setup, right? I've got 3 different primary setups and they all run through one set of controls, but anyway, I'll go back over here. Hopefully that still worked. I have noticed check. Yeah, okay. I have noticed that sometimes if you switch scenes too quickly, if you switch scenes too quickly in OBS, that your sound inputs will get kind of jacked. And I've noticed that the Rodecaster Pro 2 will actually, sort of drop some of that every once in a while, and I end up having to turn the device off and turn it back on. So I don't have time to send it in, but they want Rode wants me to send it back to them. And I've got a spare unit that I have to update, and I gotta just make sure that the show, because you make all your settings, and then you can save that as a parameter setup. So I need to export that and then import it into the other unit. So I have a primary and a backup. Be able to set that up and be able to continue forward, because it'll take them a couple of weeks to get it back to me. But I think what they're just going to do is send me another stinking box, but whatever. I mean, I have a 2-year warranty on it as well. I will tell you that I had a problem with I have some wireless go-to wireless mics. So you take these in the in the transmitter, the receiver, and it's got a 3.5 millimeter TRS output. So I take this and I run it into a stereo converter, and I can run that as 2 mic inputs on the Rodecaster, and I can actually do remote microphones and stuff. So I take this setup out on the road with me, and I'll record people on site and be able to pull that content back in and marry it back up to their video. So that's actually pretty good. One had a battery problem; it was dying, so I just called them up, and they cross-shipped me a replacement transmitter. So it's not always easy to get them to respond quickly, but once they respond, they'll work with you pretty good. These guys are flying F-35s, man, over here. F-35s, man. Do you mess around with DCS, Wobbly, or because I know you have a steering wheel setup, so I don't know if you're just doing like NASCAR sims or what. Bam. Didn't you have a steering wheel setup? I mean, they even got like heavy equipment control panels and stuff, which I think it's kind of interesting. But I may actually try to build a flight sim rig. Oh, car and truck sims. Okay. Yeah, so I do the little bit that I do because I can with the keyboard, right? There's a very limited amount of stuff you can do. I haven't purchased any of the modules for DCS, so it's like, you can get a flight sim or you get a flight model and you pay for the model, and they're, $25 to $50 or whatever per item. But then you can also do these campaigns, and this guy that the video that you see playing, those are like whole campaigns or regions, and then they have all the ships and everything else. So you buy these regions, they'll have a bunch of different flight models and stuff that are part of them, which is, it's kind of cool. So you get in there, you can be like ATC, air traffic control, or you can be like somebody that's operating a ship or operating a carrier or operating a plane. So I like it. It's kind of cool. I think there's an ARMA 3, which is a tank warfare or ground combat module plug-in for it too. So it's kind of cool. But the graphics and everything are really, 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 or they can be really, really good depending on your graphics card. My graphics cards are not quite as good as what this video. My graphics card is not quite as good as the video that you see here, but I cranked it up to full blast yesterday. And it was pretty darn good for a card that has been really outdated for probably 5 years, compared to the current state of the art. So what is this? F-35 versus a Zero? Is this like the Philadelphia experiment? That would be funny. F-35s at Midway. So what was your rant about? Wobbly. Anything? I'll have dead air. Ding, ding, ding. I mean, I'm just looking at stuff generally, but let's see. Is there anything that's remotely decent on the news? So I guess the Section 230 case went before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court heard oral arguments Tuesday for the first of two cases to explore the extent of legal protections given to tech companies that provide a platform for third-party users to publish content. Case in question, Gonzalez v. Google, deals with recommendations and algorithms used by sites like YouTube that go further than simply allowing users to post content, but arrange and promote content to users in a certain way. YouTube and Google are facing litigation over allegedly recommending videos creating by ISIS used to recruit new members. Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act says sites like YouTube, Google, Facebook, and Twitter are immune to legal claims based on the content posted by their users. The justices and parties involved wrestled with whether the way in which that content is presented is itself a form of speech, and whether it is clear recommendation or it is clear recommendations or an algorithm. Okay, fine. We're not like the greatest 9 experts on the world, Elena Kagan said, drawing a laughter from the room. Sam Alito told the plaintiff's attorney, Eric Schnapper, he was completely confused by whatever argument you're making at the present time. So this was the plaintiff's attorney. Schnapper had been discussing how YouTube presents thumbnail images and links to different videos when providing search results or content that as an algorithm believes the user might want. Schnapper argued that while the videos themselves are created by the users, the thumbnails are joint creations of the user and YouTube, piercing YouTube's Section 230 protection. Okay, I guess. Google attorney Lisa Blatt dismissed the argument, noting that that was never part of the plaintiff's complaint in the case. Ketanji Brown Jackson, like Alito earlier, said she was thoroughly confused by what was being argued because she believed the relevant issue was the scope of Section 230 immunity, not what might trigger liability. Schnapper noted, Schnapper is the plaintiff's attorney, noted that when it comes down to how certain actions or practices are viewed in terms of being covered by the law, the contention we're advancing is that a variety of things that we're loosely characterizing as recommendations fall outside of the statute. Yeah, so this is the question, like where the law doesn't keep up with the technology, I think. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting. You know, I was just talking to somebody yesterday about the government telling us things, right? And being pissed off that a lot of people don't believe it. You know, everybody's jumped on Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's she's kind of kooky out there, right? But the only reason why she's out there is because the Democrats have been kooky out there for a lot longer, right? I mean, they've been pushing the craziness. God, I saw something on Twitter. I'd have to go back and look at it because I didn't sleep. I haven't been sleeping very well the last week or so. Just a lot of things have been going on. So I've had a lot of things in my mind. I'm constantly thinking about or iterating back around certain things. But there was something that Adam Schiff said that was specific to being able to trust in something, right? And I think I fired a response back, but you can find it probably in my timeline in Twitter at the Real MPU. But you can see that I responded to it as like that it was the hypocrisy of him saying something about trusting the government when everything he said about the Hunter Biden laptop and everything he said about Russian collusion was all like a pure straight hoax, right? And he says that he was criticizing people who didn't believe the government for some other things that were being said. So I was just like, come on, Jesus Christ, dude, shut up. But it looks like he's got a challenge coming up. So I think he's going to run. He may run for Senate in California, take over Dianne Feinstein's spot. And I think there's a current congressman, that is going to be running. And my guess is because of the identity politics that they love to play, the middle-aged white guy in California is going to lose in that jungle primary. Not my term, their term. Oh, your wife asked you if we were related? Yeah, we're Navy guys. You're older than I am by 14-ish, maybe 15-ish. But yeah, we're Navy guys. This friend of mine gave me this for my birthday. Veteran. You know, I lost my, I had sterling silver dolphins when I was on a submarine, and that's the ones I wore every day. You can't find them anymore. And everybody wants to give you sterling silver dolphins now. I think I paid like $100 for them in 1984 when I qualified. And, oh, that's right. No, hold on. We did our new construction. So we were new construction. I came there 18 months before we commissioned. And I qualified submarines 6 months after being on the boat. So I qualified right when we did our, we were in the water, but before we had the handover from Electric Boat. So we did that. It was also oddly enough the same time that I re-enlisted. You re-enlist for E5 because it was that easy. Now getting to E6, damn near impossible. But I was so proud of having my submarine qualification that I went and had two legal specification sterling silver dolphins made. Now you get your dolphins and everybody would tack them on. So they call that hazing now. But I had an eye seaman who was probably 6'6", weighed maybe about 260, looked like he was cut from a piece of, steel. They would tack them on. And normally, it's like the tacking on your patch, you get your promotion, right? Wobbly, you know what I'm talking about. You get promoted and everybody's like, hey, good deal, good deal. Well, when you get like a chest insignia, they have push pins and whatever, right? And people will try to hurt you. And this guy caught me around a missile tube unaware, and he literally caused them to bend. He hit it square, and then the pins pushed in and over. So I had these two holes in my chest from the pins in the backs. The pins went through the back, right? And then my whole chest just bruised. The entire upper pec bruised. And then it just drained down my arm. So I literally had a bruise from shoulder all the way down to mid-elbow. And it was really difficult to do a lot with my left hand. Thank God I was right. So I didn't have a problem. Writing or otherwise. But yeah, so yeah, but they do that now. Or I don't even know if you could do that anymore. I don't know anybody who is just recently in the Navy or who is a recent submarine qualification person. But it would be interesting to know if people are still getting away with that stuff. Right now, you have to be super, super kind. I don't know, super kind, and nobody's, messing around with anybody. Oh, whatever. Jeez. What the hell did they... Like, they're trying to remove all... I'm looking at something on Fox News now. They're removing the tankers and stuff like that. And there's this white residue dust everywhere. And I don't know if that's just the ash or if that's particulates from like AFFF or whatever, which apparently causes... The chemicals apparently cause cancer now, because that's what the ambulance chasing lawyer set that advertises everywhere now says. Yeah. So I think this current sim, this is a YouTube video, but I think this current sim is the Japanese fleet during World War II against a bunch of F-35s. Yeah, it feels like it's not gonna go well for the Japanese. But I already saw the Philadelphia experiment, so I knew what was going to happen. Knew what was going to happen. So what are you up to, Woodsy? Oof. Yeah, I don't know. I think the government should just remove Section 230, period. If you're a publisher can be sued. In this particular case, because social media companies, in their terms of service, are creating, essentially publishing rules and guidelines, then they can be held accountable for the effect of those publishing rules and guidelines if they violate First Amendment or 14th Amendment protections. They can't treat one group of individuals differently than another group of individuals. So it'd be interesting. Jesus. So, BAFTA as So White. Ceremony slam for all white winners 3 years after a push to boost diversity. And of course, everybody's favorite race hustler on TV, Joy Reid. Well, I guess she's behind Al Sharpton. Stars gathered in London for the 2023 British Academy Film Awards, that's BAFTA, Sunday for a star-studded night, later doused by social media users who called out one glaring aspect. Every single winner was white. Huh. Don't be surprised. Film and TV in particular, and the creative industries in general, are amongst the most systematically racist when it comes to employment practices. The awards merely reflect this, film and TV professional Riaz Mir tweeted early Tuesday. Another alleged that the ceremony attempted to gloss over the whiteness by having British TV personalities Alison Hammond, a black woman, present the awards, writing BAFTAs be like all the winners were white, but it's okay. At least we had a black woman presenting the ceremony. Right. So BAFTA So White, hashtag BAFTA So White dominated Twitter after not a single person of color claimed an award during the ceremony, and despite previous diversity pushes that included a reassessment of the Academy's voting rules and a verbal takedown by Joker actor Joaquin Phoenix, who said the film industry's exclusionary policy sent a very clear message to people of color that you're not welcome here. And according to Joaquin Phoenix. British Film Academy revamped its voting rules after outrage in 2020, introducing a long list round of voting before the final nominee phase. To me, it feels like they're just dumbing down, right? They're doing things to try to push a particular outcome rather than evaluating the value of the work. Now, are the people that are voting with racist intent, or do they truly believe that the people that won because they were the best? I think Denzel Washington had this kind of a nice phrase. I'll paraphrase it a little bit, but throughout his life, he had faced many struggles and challenges and blah, blah, blah. And he was thankful that at least on one night, he was the best. And he wasn't making a racial comment at all. He was just appreciative of the fact that his peers had recognized him as the best he could be in that particular category on that particular night or that particular year. But the constant whiner class, make no mistake about it, if they don't win, if they don't win, or they don't win a lot, or they don't win the majority, they get pissed. There are all of the super high money, well, not all, the vast majority of super high money positions in the NFL are not white players. I don't hear a lot of the white players out there saying, oh my God, it's so unfair, you're being racist. It's a meritocracy. By and large, nothing is ever absolute. And the idea that you have to, the idea that you need to enforce a specific outcome in order to have fairness, that's not fairness, all right? That's equity. Equality of outcome is not equality of opportunity. It is not equality of effort. It is not equality in the truest sense of the word, right? Which is, you have a skill set. If your skill set is better than everybody else's, then you will rise. Or if it's better than a majority, right? According to your abilities, if you are better than the next guy, you should be in front of that guy or gal or them or he, they, she, whatever the pronoun of choice is. And the fact that people are more concerned that somebody, i.e. a president, is a black person, or that the vice president is a black person, as opposed to looking for things that are, related to competency. People are afraid that Kamala Harris would be the worst possible president ever. Well, they think this not because she's black or Indian or, a mixed race or female. It's because she has demonstrated as vice president that she would be a horrible president. Same thing with pretty much any sport, Woodsy, right? Any sport. The better you are, the more people want to see you, the more butts you put in seats, and the more competitive your team is going to be. I mean, we haven't seen, I think we're getting ready to see it, right? I think Title IX, Obozo Jr., is trying to make a Title IX recommendation change that will force schools to allow biological men who identify as trans females to compete in women's sports. And I think at that point is where you're going to have a massive Supreme Court showdown over that. Because there is no protection. There is no specific protection for things that are operative choice. So we'll see. I'm not being anti-trans because I could give a shit. I really could. I don't care. You want to be a turbo hydromatic 350? Go ahead. 10W40? I don't care. Whatever your pronouns are. It doesn't bother me. But don't ask society to enable you to execute your whims. I just don't believe in it. Let's see what else we got here. Yeesh. Very, very tough. Big weather pattern coming. Apparently, Lily Rose Depp poses topless. Talks growing up as Johnny Depp's daughter. I don't think I care about that. Another train derails, and I think it was in the upper Midwest, as Buttigieg announces his visit to the crash site 3 weeks later? I think this little bit of drama going back and forth between Whoopi Goldberg and Nikki Haley is pretty funny. So Kyle Rittenhouse is being sued by the moron that tried to kill him. That's not going to go anywhere. Oh, yeah, there we go. I was talking about the California State Senate, not State Senate, but the U.S. Senate race upcoming for California. Adam Schiff is probably going to run. It's Representative Barbara Lee. So she's pretty much she's a psycho, but she hits the right demographic boxes for California. So I think white guy Adam Schiff, he's gonna find that the systemically racist California electoral system is gonna be torn asunder, and we're gonna put the kind of people we like to see in office. Emphasis on the word like and see. EPA orders Norfolk Southern to clean up the Ohio train derailment site. This seems only fair. 2 former NBA players are sentenced for defrauding the league's health and benefit plan. Okay. And Liam Neeson apparently is not happy after he went on the View. Top Chinese official diplomat visiting Russia will discuss world peace with Moscow officials. World peace. Interesting. Nice stuff. China accuses U.S. of fanning the flames in Ukraine, claims the U.S. is profiting from the war. It's not the U.S. per se, but I think the military-industrial complex is for sure pocketing some deep change, because we've given them, I think the last I saw was something like close to 200 billion in 1 year. I mean, that's 40% of our, that's 40% or 38% or whatever of the United States defense budget for a year. And we just gave, that much to Ukraine for 1 year. God, I sure hope somebody said that there were 3 inspectors general, U.S. inspectors general, that were constantly, verifying that the materials were being, used or they're accounted for. My guess is you're still going to see probably on the order of about 15 to 20% of that money is going to work its way into the black market somehow. Those weapons are going to be sold, and it's going to have a deleterious effect on us as a country. Of course, in response, the Chinese are threatening to provide lethal aid to Russia. Now, that's a turnabout is, fair play, I guess. China was built up by the Soviet Union, and now they're going to come back and try to potentially backstop lethal weapon aid support for Russia and Ukraine, because, well, they just simply can't afford to make their own weapons. But Putin announced, I think yesterday or the day before, that they were going to pull out of the New START treaty. So, they're going to potentially start resuming nuclear weapons testing. Fantastic. So the Vermont border official is ripping Trudeau for the migrant surge, saying they're allowing it to happen. In today's weird digit review, a woman lost her toe after a pedicure. I guess they went a little further up the cuticle. And on this date in history, February 21st, 1916, World War I's the Battle of Verdun. It would be another 18 months or so for the war. But Verdun was one of the most catastrophic battles of the war. Secure Act 2.0. This is something that affects people that may have an IRA, but you haven't taken your distribution yet. So the minimum distribution age, they're saying you can now you can invest your savings longer. Let's see what we got here. Americans contributing toward individual retirement accounts may see their investments grow for a longer time before they need to start making government mandated withdrawals. So currently, I think it's 70. The earliest you can take it out is 59 and a half now. Maybe that's changed. But the mandatory last date that you can, before you can begin taking them out, was 70 years old. Oh, sorry. So they've actually pushed that. So I thought it was 70. It's been a while. I'm not Wobbly's age. But it was 72, and now they're bumping it up a year. So, RMD age, what is this? To 75. I don't know what RMD is. Oh, sorry. An RMD is the amount of money people investing in RMDs need to withdraw each year after. Oh, required minimum distribution. Okay, that's what it is. It's calculated by dividing the IRA's balance as of December 31st, the preceding year, by a life expectancy factor. These life expectancy factors can be found in the Uniform Lifetime Table, or the IRS Joint Life and Last Survivor Expectancy Table. So it's basically an actuarial table. So, high interest debt is preventing you from saving for retirement. You can consider paying it down with a personal loan at a lower rate to lower your monthly payments. Oh, that's an ad. Oh, that was cleverly inserted in. So people who don't take the appropriate RMD will face a 50% tax penalty on the amount not withdrawn. So Secure 2 Act reduces that to 25%. So think about it. So if you have to take a $10,000 distribution and you don't take it before Secure Act 2, you'd have to pay $5,000 in tax. Wow. Now it's only 25%. Jeez. Penalty may drop to 10% for people who correct the RMD issue in a timely manner. The penalty may be waived if the account owner establishes that the shortfall in distributions is due to an unreasonable error and that reasonable steps can be taken to remedy the shortfall. Currently, those with Roth IRAs don't need to take minimum withdrawals from those accounts beginning in 2024. The Secure 2.0 Act will extend that feature to Roth 401k plans and other Roth accounts within workplace retirement plans. Well, that's kind of cool. That's actually kind of cool. Okay, so here are the basic summaries. Companies are required to auto-enroll their eligible employees in 401ks beginning in 2025. So that means that's probably going to have a negative effect on employment for companies that don't have it. Oh, yeah, no. I mean, look, the only thing a CD is good for is just if you need liquid money, right? So if you're trying, I'm not giving financial advice. Talk to somebody who knows. Talk to a financial advisor. But if you have money that you want to be very liquid, consider building a CD tree, right? 3-6, 12, 24-month CD ladder, right? And then as an item it matures, you just roll it back into another item. You get hit with a penalty if you have to cash it out, but you're not losing principal, right? In most cases. But you just do that, and then you have liquidity, and then you get a little something. The other kinds of investments and stuff that you would do have a lot more risk and things like that, or like municipal bonds and things like that. You tend to have to hold them a lot longer. Anything that's doing like any kind of what's the word I want to use? Distributed earnings, right? Dividends. So anything that's like an income type asset, they don't grow a lot, but you get good dividends. And there's a strategy, right, that you do some of that, because then you make enough money to pay your bills without losing any of your principal value. Well, without a lot of risk of losing your principal. Part-time employees who have worked for at least 2 consecutive years with at least 500 hours annual service will be eligible to enroll in the plan. So if you have been working for your company for 2 years or more and you've worked 500 hours in the last 2 years and you haven't been part of the plan, they will have to have a plan, and you will be able to participate in. Doesn't mean they have to do anything for you. You're probably going to see a lot of companies that are going to start offering like less and less matching. They talk about like matching components. I bet you're going to see that kind of happen as a trend line too. And that's if you're a part-time employee. Plan sponsors of individual accounts can create emergency savings accounts that allow non-highly compensated employees to make Roth after-tax contributions to a special savings account within the retirement plan beginning in 2024. Now, there is some benefit, especially if you are a younger person, to getting into a Roth IRA, because it is generally federally tax-free in terms of the distribution. Again, check with a financial advisor. The rules may be changed. I don't personally have a Roth. My wife has a Roth. I have a 401k, and I have another IRA. So what else we got to do? After-tax contribution, special savings account. Being able to do that through your employer means you can direct your money. So you get 26 and change or whatever thousand, depending on your age, that you can catch-up contributions toward workplace retirement plans like 401ks will increase to 10,000, and that's, I think, up from $6,000 between the ages of 60 through 63. So next year I'll be 60, and then I can actually boost that up, so you can even add more. So this is the year to cut all my all my spending, so I can just dump it into savings. But you take advantage of that, and then take advantage of a Roth IRA. As long as you're under, I think it's 134,000 income, then you can do that. Again, all the rules changes, so check it out. But that's kind of interesting. That might actually help. But I can see where a lot of small businesses don't have employee savings plans like 401k set up. It takes some money, it takes some effort, and then there's oversight that you have to have on that. So there are costs associated with the business doing it. I think it's a good opportunity that people can do that. I think the government could do more to make that available for people, so that we could be in a position where we don't need Social Security as much, and eventually get to a point where we could do away with Social Security, at least government ran, government managed, right? Because my problem with that is it's like a 3% return rate over the life of your earnings. And that's not much, right? That's not much. I think the shittiest long-term average you can get out of the market over the last 70 years has been like 7 or 8%. So you're getting literally less than 40% of your return by having the government run it. Oh, and then the other thing is that the government doesn't actually earn money on your money. They just simply tax somebody in the future to pay the obligations they have for today. So if you're smart, if you're particularly under the age of 40 or 45, and you don't have a 401k, or you don't have a Roth IRA, or you don't have an IRA, do yourself a favor. Start putting money back You can figure out something you can cut out to even save $25 a month, but you just do that and let it compound. Do yourself a favor. Don't rely on the government, because in 20 or 30 years, all of the money, everything that we have, because we're moving to this plastic economy, even with like debit cards. You're not holding physical money. Even paper money is kind of a joke if everything goes south. Hard assets might be the thing that actually saves you in the future. So, make sure you have a diversified portfolio. Yeah, they tax your SSI. Oh, that's right. They tax your SSI. Even the regular distribution, right? I know that they penalize you if you make over whatever the number is. When my dad was doing it, he could work, when he first started doing it, he could make like $11,000 a year. And then after that, they would take $1 for every 2 he made. So if he made, $100, they would reduce his benefit that month, the next month, by $100 or $50 or whatever. I always thought that was just kind of shitty, right? Because it's a floor income, and if you're out there making a little bit of money, you should be able to triple your Social Security money before they try to do anything bizarre like that. And I think your Social Security money ought to be tax-free. It's already a pittance of anything else. And I'm fortunate that I've been able to make a good living. I've struggled a lot in my life, but I've managed to put all of my financial affairs into an order. And I'm not worried about my retirement. I'm not going to be independently wealthy. I'm still going to need Social Security. Okay. And I want it because I paid into it. But I think for people that literally only have Social Security, it's a horrible plan. And the government should have thought about this a long time ago, before they started getting the baby boomers retiring and started working their way through it, so they could come up with a better transitionary plan. And when people like, Mike Lee and others talk about, ending Social Security, they need to. We need to end Social Security, but you can't do it in a way that harms the people who need it. So you have to phase it out, which means you have to phase in a system that is equal to or better than. And when I say equal to or better than, I mean provides a mechanism by which people can self-direct and have an opportunity to make more potential downstream earnings while reducing the amount of government control over the distribution of those earnings. But I think of that, to be honest, if you get rid of Social Security and Medicare, and replace them with something that is effective and not government controlled, then the government's appetite for money will decrease by nearly 40% in a normal year. That's a lot of money. Yeah, treat it like it's a friggin' estate distribution, right? I mean, most people's lifetime payout for Social Security isn't going to be $3 million. But yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Let people cash out a lump sum of their Social Security, and then let them be free to turn around and reinvest that. Shit, man, if I could take my Social Security as a lump sum payment untaxed and dump it into my investment portfolio that I have now, I'd be in Fat City. That would be fantastic. You should write your congressman. Hold on, wait a second. You don't have Adam Schiff, do you? Adam Schiff's not your guy. You're east of LA by a bit. You'd have to get up north of LA a little bit for Adam Shifty. What else is going on, guys? I literally just playing around watching DCS World videos, but I figured I wanted to jump on and say hi. I'm very excited, Wobbly. I'm very excited. I got flight controls coming. Yes. Oh, you have Pete Aguilar? Yeah, buddy. Go Pete. Go Pete. I think I'm gonna revamp the show graphics and make it more look like a actual news thing. Like some of the way the camera feeds and shifting from one person view to two person view or whatever. No, he's a socialist. I think, the biggest problem for you guys was the biggest problem for California is when they went to the jungle primary system. And that was done by was that done by ballot initiative, Wobbly? I think it was a ballot initiative, and don't all ballot initiatives have to be just a simple majority? Pretty sure it was. It was a constitutional. You can amend your constitution with a 50% vote, which I think is bizarre. We'll see what we got here. Click. The ballot initiative process gives California citizens a way to propose laws and constitutional amendments without the support of the governor or the legislature. A simplified explanation follows. Let's just look, shall we? Initiative, submit an initiative draft to the Attorney General for official title and summary. Active measures are proposed, inactives are withdrawn or failed. Initiative petitioners are circulated to collect enough signatures from registered voters. Signatures are turned over into county election officials for validation. Initiative will either be qualified for ballot or fail to qualify. California voters will approve or deny the qualified ballot initiative. One of the many responsibilities, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Nobody cares. Yeah, it looks like you just get a simple 51%. You're going to modify the Constitution in California with a 51% vote. It seems almost unconstitutional. Wow. This from the office of Rob Bonta, Attorney General for the state of California. Yeesh. What is one criticism of ballot initiatives in California? According to Wikipedia, criticism has been raised of the initiative process, suggesting that with trends toward lower voter turnouts and evidence of voter disinterest in candidates and issues other than in presidential elections, a direct democracy system specifically designed to be inflexible might be infeasible to continue as a way. Yeesh. Conflicting propositions. That'd be funny. Narrowing of democratic access imposed by the high cost of conducting initiatives and referendums and by the challenges raised by attempting comprehensive governance in the face of individual, non-comprehensive, and sometimes at least partially contrary initiatives. Generally, because California's size of population, proponents of a ballot initiative or referendum need significant amounts of money and resources to gather the required number of signatures. And then campaign access, and then you have to campaign across the state for the passage. Wealthy or special interest groups can afford to do so. A process that can be cost prohibitive to most other organizations and individual citizens. With regard to cumulative effect of standalone propositions passed by voters, complaint has also been they collectively limit the state legislature in dealing with issues comprehensively. i.e., in an overall shaping of public policy or overall management of the state budget. For example, legislators try to pass the state budget must work around Proposition 13's inflexible limits on taxes. Prop 13 goes way back, but that's the property tax limitations. But it really hasn't stopped. It really hasn't. And they say, that property tax limitation in Prop 13 creates an inflexible limit on taxes, and Proposition 98, which guarantees school funding. So the two initiatives run at cross odds. Yeah, you should never trust 51% of your state population to write permanent law or damn near permanent law, because most of them, they don't understand what's going on. And the way that the process works, right? People get sort of bribed into it. So I don't remember too long ago. I should offer one for public hanging of elected officials to break their oath of office. I like that. You need a seat with USB ports? What does that mean? Oh, was that the ad? You're killing me, Wobbly. You're killing me. I appreciate you letting those ads play, though, man, because that's the only way I'm making any money on the show. And that's like 2 cents. Oh, my goodness. So, hey, let me ask you a quick question. So it's just now starting to snow. We are looking at a massive amount. I wanted to get on the road Friday morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning and then drive as far as I could west. But we're literally going to be driving into the teeth of the storm. So we may not actually be able to go until Sunday or Monday, which is fine. If we have to go a few days later, we'll just drive straight through rather than we were thinking about, driving 8 or 9 hours and then getting some shut eye about halfway there, and then, get up the next morning, hit it up, and then be up there by about 2 o'clock. But you never know. I'm hoping the weather doesn't prevent me from getting my flight panel. That'll suck. I guess the next thing I'll start saving up for is like a 4090 graphics card, and start looking for all the component pieces along the way to get to a point where I can build a custom PC. What I've got's good now, but it actually belongs to a company, so I get to use it for testing and stuff like that. But I'm doing NDI camera feeds out of it. So that's actually, when you look at that one view, that's an NDI feed over, and then all the audio and everything just routes through the soundboard. But in any case, I think, to be honest, I believe that I'm really just kind of out of material and stuff like that. I was just kind of dicking around a little bit this afternoon. The wife's come home, and I think we want to talk about what our plans are going to look like. Just 16 inches. Oh yeah, he's in Jixer's, Minnesota. Yeah, right. So he's west of Minneapolis. But yeah, we're looking at 16 to 19 inches all total. So the good news is that my snowblower is going to it's a 3-stage snowblower, so it's going to get a good workout. I'm looking forward to that. And the temperature is going to drop to below zero sometime between now and Friday morning. So I think it's going to be a friggin' hockey rink on the highway. So I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, but you guys are getting pounded with rain, right? Not snow. I think that storm is the one that's gonna. Parts of that storm are going to work their way up through the central U.S. and we're going to get. Yeah, that's what your wife said, Woodsy. Oh, wait a second. Yeah. So where you're at, What do you have? This is it the San Bernardino Mountains for you? Or no, San Bernardino's right on the coast. Yeah, I forget the mountain range that's back behind you. Because I want to say you're kind of out there in the sticks a little bit. Aren't you on the way towards Santa Barbara? I'll have to put a triangulator on your next signal. Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey, but anyway, guys. You're 60 miles in? Yeah, it's not too bad. Santa Barbara. Ish. Tick, 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 tick. SantaBarbara.gov. Look it up. Look it up. Anyway. Guys, I'm going to go ahead and cut it loose. I don't know if is there anybody? I guess I could check to see if anybody's doing anything. But I don't think a raid of three people really impresses people. But let's just see, shall we? Click. Nobody. Yeah, there's nobody. Okay. Well, guys, I tell you what, I'm gonna bounce. So, you're west of LA. West of LA. Oh, damn. It's good to see you guys. Wobbly, you gonna be on in the morning? I'll be up. I will actually get up super early tomorrow, and not as early as you, obviously, but I'll get up and watch your show tomorrow. So until then, guys, take care. I'll catch up with you later. Y'all be good. I'm gonna hit the one button kill. And I'll just let you guys know that I appreciate the fact that we hung out here for just a little bit, even going back and forth, talking a little stuff, catching up on a little few things, trying to get back into the swing of things and let that great voice of mine come through so that everybody's happy. Once again, yes, East. Great big fart. That's a foghorn. Because it's a dive. Wow, it's not quite a dive alert, right? But it's the end, so it's like coming on in, baby. The foghorn's lifting. The More Perfect Union is about ready to get out of your face for another 15 or so hours. I'm going to try to come back tomorrow. I think tomorrow afternoon I shall have some more free time. So if you're hanging around about 2 or 3 o'clock Central Time U.S., consider coming on in. If you want to, let's talk on Discord or something tomorrow if you guys are free. I'll put that information out tomorrow. And until then, I want you guys to take care. Have a good night. I'll catch up with you. I love you, mean it. This is MPU signing off.